What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today I'm doing my Thursday night football predictions. It is the first Thursday night football of the 2023 season. Yes, last Thursday we did have football between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, but that was not normal Thursday night football. That was the opening kickoff of the 2023 season. The game was on NBC, but this is the actual kickoff of Thursday night football on Prime Video. Let's get into this game as the Philadelphia Eagles will face off against the Minnesota Vikings. I think this will be a better matchup than people think. I know people are, all saying the Vikings aren't going to be close in this game because Kirk Cousins, it's prime time. I know. I've been making those jokes all week ever since week 1 officially ended. I'm telling you guys, I've been making those jokes all week about Kirk Cousins about to be on prime time. But I think the Vikings will keep this game close. Do I think Kirk Cousins struggles because it's prime time? Of course. I think he probably throws a couple interceptions, and I'll get into how many interceptions I have him throwing in this game against a good defense and him being on prime time. I'll get into that later. But I think this will be a closer game than people think, and I'm going to get into my score prediction. I'm also going to get into players to watch in this game. I'm going to talk about what I think will happen throughout this game, players I think that will be very good in this game for the Eagles and the Vikings for that case. And not only that, but I'm going to be talking about fantasy players, who you should start, who you should sit in fantasy this week with this Thursday night football game. Getting into it. So here's the final score that I have winning. I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this ballgame 28-23. I think the Vikings will have a chance to win this ballgame, and I don't think Kirk Cousins and the Vikings will be able to do it. So I think this will be a close game. I think the Eagles will have momentum throughout the whole game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring first half. I have it being 12-10 going into halftime for the Philadelphia Eagles, leading 12-10 at halftime. I think the Eagles, just like last week, they had trouble getting it in the end zone. They kicked 6 field goals last week against the Patriots defense, and they were only able to put it in the end zone once. I think they have trouble with that again in the first half, but I think eventually in the second half, they're starting to put it in the end zone. I think they'll score. I have them scoring 2 touchdowns in the second half, and I have those 2 touchdowns being 2 touchdown passes by Jalen Hurts, one to Devontae Smith and one to tight end Dallas Goedert, who had 0 receptions in week 1. And I think that this will be ultimately a close game to the end, 28-23. The Vikings will have a chance with a touchdown to take the lead, and they will not be able to do it. The Eagles stop them and get the win 28-23. I think Jake Elliott, who was a busy man last week for the Philadelphia Eagles, will be a busy man again this week for the Philadelphia Eagles. Last week he kicked 6 field goals. I think this week he kicks 5 field goals. I think he makes every single one of them. I think all these field goals will come early in the game. I have 4 for him in the first half, and I have 1 for him in the second half, and I have 2 touchdowns for the Eagles in the second half. 2 touchdown passes to Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith, like I already said. All right, getting into players who I think will be very good for both sides. Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. Keep an eye out on those guys. I think A.J. Brown's gonna have a good game. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna throw to him a lot, of course, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to get Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert more involved, which neither one of those guys was involved as they should have been in week 1 against the New England Patriots. And if Jalen Hurts probably threw the ball more to them, I think the Eagles would have won by more than 5 points against the New England Patriots. But another key factor to this game for the Eagles, I think, will be their defense. Either defense coughing up 3 turnovers against this Vikings offense today. I think they get 3 interceptions over Kirk Cousins. It's not going to be a pretty game from Kirk Cousins. I think he'll be better than people think, but I think Kirk Cousins is not going to look too great today. I have him throwing 2 touchdown passes. And getting into Kirk Cousins, though, I think Kirk Cousins throws 3 interceptions today, but I also think he throws 2 touchdown passes. Does Justin Jefferson have a good game? I think Justin Jefferson will have a solid game, but I think with, Darius Slay, I think that's going to be a hard matchup for Justin Jefferson. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be throwing to 2 wide receivers with KJ Osborne, and I think you will see Kirk Cousins throwing the ball a lot to KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison, the rookie, and TJ Hawkinson with JJ having a really hard matchup against Darius Slay. I would keep an eye out on those two wide receivers and the tight end with Kirk Cousins today, and especially the run game with Alexander Madison. It struggled. They struggled in the run game last week against the Buccaneers. So if they're going to struggle this week again, if they're going to struggle last week against the Bucs with the run game, it's not going to be much better against the Eagles. But try to get it going, I guess, with Madison. See if you can maybe get it going. But I doubt the run game will get involved that much at all for the Vikings. You saw Kirk throw a good amount of times last week. You saw him throw for 344 passing yards. I think you see him throw for a good high amount of passing yards again. I think he'll throw in the area of 250 to 275. But those 3 interceptions, I think, will really hurt him today. But I do have him throwing 2 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown pass to TJ Hawkinson, and 1 touchdown pass to KJ Osborne for Kirk Cousins. But yeah, I think this will be a very close game. But I think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles will dominate most of the game. I think Jalen Hurts will have a way better Week 2 performance than he did Week 1 against the New England Patriots. But, yes, guys you should start in fantasy this week in this game, and guys you should sit. Mainly, I say you should probably most likely sit Kirk Cousins if you're in a bigger league. You should probably sit Kirk Cousins. I don't think that's a good idea. He's going to throw for some decent passing yards. He's going to throw a touchdown pass or 2, but those 3 interceptions will hurt him. And he had a fumbling problem as well in Week 1. I'm not saying that will be a problem again this week, but that's another thing to keep in mind. Another guy, I think you never sit Justin Jefferson, but I would be worried about Justin Jefferson in fantasy this week facing Darius Slay. Don't sit Justin Jefferson because you never know what's going to happen with him. But with it being a primetime game for his quarterback and him facing Darius Slay, it might be not that great of a game for Justin Jefferson, but you never sit Justin Jefferson. And then some guys, some players I would probably, start. Well, of course you're going to start it if it's your only defense, but the Eagles' defense in fantasy is going to be amazing this week. And like I said, I have them getting at least 2 or 3 interceptions in this ballgame over Kirk Cousins, and I think they'll get either maybe a fumble recovery or a forced fumble with that. So, and probably a good amount of sacks against Kirk as well. So, I think this Eagles defense in fantasy is going to be a monster this week. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as the Cowboys defense was last week, but they're going to be pretty damn good on fantasy this week. And then some other people, I think Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert will have bounce back weeks for the Eagles. I expect them to have a really good week. And then Jordan Addison, the rookie, is someone I think Kirk Cousins will throw the ball a lot to in this ball game, with Justin Jefferson being on Darius Slay. But I think this should be a fun game in the Thursday Night Football opener. I think the Eagles win it 28-23. Give me your predictions in the comment section. That's it for the video, though. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.